What's going on, team? My name is Xander with Fates Trading Academy. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. If you guys are returning, you guys already know the drill. What we're going to be doing first is we're going to go over a recap of last week's watch list. If you guys haven't seen it or you guys want to just cross-reference what we're talking about today as far as the results with what we talked about last week, I'm going to link the video right up here where I'm talking. So you guys can check that out from last week's Stock Talk, and let's jump into it. So the first thing that we talked about, one of the stocks that we talked about was OSTK. That one gained 3.46% and 6% from Wednesday. We also talked about LVS. That one gained 7.12%. We talked about DBGI. That one gained 6%. We talked about Microsoft MSFT. That one gained 4.14%. We talked about RBLX. That one gained 9.44%. We also talked about BYND. That one gained 5.49%. We talked about Crocs, CROX. That one gained 9.24%. We talked about Snap, SNAP. That one gained 5.69%. We talked about Apps, APPS. That one gained 10.79%. We also talked about, let's see, DKNG. That one gained 6.4%. We also talked about UPS. That one gained 9.58%, and so on. We've got quite a bit of a watch list, and most of the stocks that we talk about, they all do very well the next week. So it's worth listening to if you guys are new here. So make sure to smash that like button. If you guys gain any value out of this video, make sure to watch this video all the way through, share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't subscribed. For those of you that are returning, you guys already know the drill. The first thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the SPY, which is the S&P 500. And that's what we got up on the charts right now. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the SPY, which basically is the S&P 500. So what you guys want to, what we're paying attention to with this particular chart is we're paying attention to, sorry about that, phone fell right there. Sometimes we have those situations happen, right? So what we're paying attention to with the SPY is we're paying attention to the chart, right? And so what we see here is we see that we broke below it just a few weeks ago, below the bottom channel trend line. So this channel trend line, these two dark lines, let's go ahead and zoom out. That way you guys can see kind of what this really shows, right? So if you guys can see, going all the way back to February, we were trading in this channel, as you guys can see. So let's go ahead and get back into where we just were. So what happened was we ended up breaking below it, and then we ended up finding support down here at $424.94. We bounced there, and then we're starting to recover. We're currently approaching the bottom channel trend line of that channel that I just showed you guys. And so the important thing that we're watching here is we're watching for it to break through this resistance level, because as it was a support, when we constantly saw it bounce, now it became a resistance. So we're watching for it to break through this resistance level now and get back into this channel or make all-time highs or new highs, right? So our highs were at 454 and we're currently sitting at 447, right? So that's what we're watching. The second thing that we're watching is the fact that the chart is basically showing us an inverse head and shoulder pattern, right? So we're seeing this is the first shoulder, this is the head, and then this is the second shoulder. And usually that is a reversal pattern for it to start going up and reversing to the upside, right? So that is the first thing we're watching, but not forgetting the fact that we do have a resistance right here and we're currently at it. On top of that, what you want to pay attention to is the RSI right here. And it looks like we are starting to become overbought, right? And when we become overbought, we tend to sell off and kind of correct a little bit. So be aware of that and be prepared for that. That being said, if we do start rallying, we will be overbought. So it's only, it's only when we're trading in a specific pattern, when we're not really rallying or dropping, that the RSI is useful. As of right now, if we're rallying, and if we continue to break higher, we're going to look like we're overbought for quite some time, right? So pay attention to that. The MACD, once again, resembles very similar traits to what the RSI is showing us. So the most important thing that we're watching right here is we're watching this $448 level, and we're making sure that we break above it. If we break above it, that's going to show and tell us that we're starting to make newer highs and we're going to start reversing to the upside. Like I said, the pattern that the chart and the candles are showing us is a reversal pattern. So I would anticipate us to continue to make higher highs and push higher. So that's basically what we're watching, what we're expecting here with the S&P 500 with the SPY. So that's that's in essence it. Taking a look at the NASDAQ/NQ. Let's go ahead and pull that up. It's going to resemble a very similar chart to what we saw in the SPY, right? The S&P 500. We've got one shoulder here. We got the head. We got another shoulder here, and we're pushing up. We did break through and above the 180-day and 200-day moving averages, which is a good sign, right? Once again, we're overbought here on the RSI. MACD's looking like, it's resembling the same thing that we're seeing on the RSI. Taking a look back at the SPY, let's see what we end up seeing as far as the moving average. So moving average, same thing, right? We broke above the moving average, which is another positive thing that we're seeing. So the biggest barrier that we're facing right now is this resistance level, this bottom channel trend line, which I wouldn't be surprised to see it break through it, right? So even though the RSI is looking overbought, MACD looks like we might be starting to head down, but we might correct a little bit, but I anticipate we're going to start pushing up throughout this week and into next week. So pay attention to that. So that's basically the two things that I wanted to talk about. First and foremost is the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And then as far as the opportunities, the next thing that we talk about in these videos is we talk about the opportunities that are presented for this week. So we're going to talk about 10 opportunities that we're paying attention to with the team. If you guys aren't on the team, I'm going to have a link in the description below. If you guys want to join the team, we're going to have a more extensive watch list in the team portal, right? In the team academy. So if you guys want to see the full watch list, you guys are going to have to join the team to be able to access that. As of right now, just to keep things short and sweet, we're going to talk about only 10 of the opportunities that we're paying attention to. So the first one that we're paying attention to is NIO. This one kind of goes hand in hand with with Tesla. We saw Tesla rallying quite a bit in the last few days. We're pushing highs to currently at 870. We have a resistance level here up at 897. But with NIO, we know that NIO pushes when Tesla pushes, right? We tend to see that correlation, right? So we've been seeing NIO pushing. We've been selling off for quite some time since we hit that resistance here at 55.79. Now it looks like we're starting to break through that 39.66. We broke through the 180-day and 200-day moving averages, and we're pushing higher, right? We do see a lot of positive volume coming in, and the critical volume profile level is at 37.92. So we're breaking through that. We're breaking above that, which is all positive, right? So that's all good. The only thing that we're looking at is, once again, we're looking overbought, right? But with anything pushes, we're going to start looking overbought. So don't get deterred by that. And same thing with the MACD, right? So once again, the first level of resistance that we're paying attention to is here at 39.52. If we break above that and Tesla continues to push, NIO is going to continue to push. If the overall market is going to continue to push, we are starting to see a lot of positive energy coming in with the tech sector. So we might see this push higher and higher, right? So that's the first one that's going to be on our watch list. The second one that we're going to be paying attention to is going to be Facebook, FB. So Facebook, we announced this one to the team on Sunday night. So all of these stocks we talked about with the team on Sunday night. Another benefit of being a part of the team is you're going to actually get these watch lists before the market even opens on Monday. So Tesla or Facebook, this next one that we're going to be talking about here, we have been trending down for quite some time. Let's go ahead and zoom out. We've been trending down for the last few weeks, right? We broke below the 180-day, 200-day moving averages. We started trending lower and lower. We came down to this resistance or support level at 312, 313. We ended up seeing a bounce, and then we broke above the EMA, which is this blue line. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Let me bring that back for you guys. Came down to this resistance, like I mentioned, broke through the EMA, right? And we ended up breaking above the EMA and continue to push higher. We had a little bit of a struggle here with the 50-day moving average, which is this purple line. And then we pulled back, corrected a little bit, and started pushing higher. Again, we broke through that 50-day moving average, and now we're at the 100-day moving average. We're also at this resistance level right here at 336. But we're not super overbought on the RSI yet, right? So we, especially if the tech continues to push higher, we're going to see this push higher as well. And we're going to break through at least to this 180-day resistance level, which is 354. So that's what we're paying attention to at the very least. If we continue to recover with the overall market, if the SPY continues to recover, the NASDAQ continues to recover, we're going to definitely see this return to at least all-time highs, right? We had a little bit of a a breach happened with Facebook. So prices dropped, market was correcting. There was just a lot of things happening. Bond yields started going up. There was a lot happening. So it drove the price quite a bit down. But as you can see, we're clearly starting to push to the upside. So it's, even if you guys are looking for a longer term trade, this would be a better time to jump into something like Facebook at a deal here versus jumping in it at like all-time highs, right? So, that's the first thing that we're paying attention to. Obviously, there's going to be intraday opportunities. So if you do want to get out once we did, so for instance, everybody that was paying attention to this ticker when we talked about it on Sunday with the team, they were able to capitalize a solid 2% just on Monday because they were aware, they were in the know, and they were able to take advantage of this play, right? So you can definitely sell at intraday levels and take your profits and walk and find a different opportunity. But even for a longer term opportunity, this would definitely be a great place to consider this as a potential play if you see value in something like Facebook. So that's what we're paying attention to with Facebook. The next one that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be BABA. This one has been pushing higher and starting to recover. We did see this sell off significantly, right? So we had highs of 274. We sold off all the way to 138, right? And we're currently sitting at, we're pushing higher. We broke through the 180-day moving average, which is a positive sign, right? The RSI, we were overbought when we pushed up initially. We got rejected here at that 175 level, which used to be a support. So that's why we had that level. And then it became a resistance, not once, but twice. And so now it became a resistance again, confirmed that resistance for us. So that's why we knew that it was going to start rejecting at that point, potentially. And we ended up actually seeing that. And we came down to the 180-day moving averages. 180-day, 200-day moving averages. We came down to that level, and then we found support, right? We've got confirmation. We're also holding above the 100. We're also holding above the EMA, which is this blue line right here. And the positive thing that we're seeing with this is the RSI is actually dropping, but the price is remaining the same, right? And so when that usually happens, especially with the MACD pulling down, right, we're essentially getting as if, like a rubber band kind of thing. And so it's applying pressure. And so when this starts reversing to the upside again, same thing with the MACD, we're going to see another breakthrough, possibly a breakthrough through this 175 level, potentially to this next resistance level here at 199. So that's what we're paying attention to with BABA. Once again, another one that's a really good play to consider for a longer term investment, but definitely plenty of opportunity intraday as well. So that's BABA for us. The next one that we're looking at is going to be USB. This one did very, very well over the last day, right? On Monday, we had a strong push. The reason this one caught our eye when we were doing our scans and doing our technical analysis on Sunday night is because we were very, very oversold here on the RSI. MACD was starting to look like we're turning around, and that's exactly what happened. We ended up finding support here at the 100-day moving average. Didn't even quite make it to the 180-day. We had a little bit of a wick come down, but we ended up finding the most support at the 100-day moving average. And Monday happened. We ended up starting to push up to the upside. We broke above the EMA here, the blue line, and that's a positive sign. We're holding above the 180-day. RSI is looking good. MACD is looking like we're turning around. RSI has plenty of room to run. So, we're obviously going to consider those all-time highs that we saw at 63 to be that first level of resistance. So from current price points to that resistance point, we're looking at 3.7%. Obviously, bank stocks have been doing very well. You can definitely look up multiple other bank stocks that we have on our watch list. The team knows those bank stocks. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys can definitely Google search some bank stocks. They're all performing in a very similar fashion. So that's what we're watching here with USB. The next one that we're paying attention to is BA, which is Boeing. This one here, once again, very similar setup to what we had. A very good setup. We ended up pushing down. We broke above the 180-day moving average, which is this green and yellow line. The yellow is the 200-day. We broke above it, pushed down a little bit now, and then we became very oversold. And the MACD is starting to look like we're starting to curve to the upside. We have a critical volume profile level right up here, sitting at 227, which is actually approximately where we ended up getting rejected. And so now with the curve happening on the MACD and the RSI pushing to the upside, plenty of room to run on the RSI. MACD starting to indicate a reversal to the upside. What we're waiting for is a break above this 100 or a break above this EMA, which is also going to line up very well with a break above the 180-day, 200-day moving average, right? So from current price points to that all-time high, or not all-time high, but that rejection level where we ended up getting rejected first, we're looking at about 5.3%. But let's see what we have as far as potential levels further on, right? So the next level that we'd be looking at, obviously this is going to be our first level. The second level that we're going to be looking at is going to be sitting right around here at 238. And the next level after that we're going to be paying attention to is going to be approximately at 257. So I'm not saying we're going to go all the way to 257 under no, I mean, possible, but I'm not saying that that's exactly what we're going to do right now. The first thing that I'm paying attention to is from current price points to that next level of resistance that I just mentioned to you, those highs that we were at, 5.35%. And then if we break above that, the next level is going to be that 238 level, which is 9.24%. Our target here is going to be this first level of resistance, which is that 5.3, 5.5, 5.4% approximate area. So that's what we're paying attention to with BA. MACD looks good. RSI looks good. Obviously the opportunity looks great. That also lines up fairly well with the volume profile level, which is a critical level. So that's what we're paying attention to with BA. The next one is going to be Starbucks SBUX. This one here, we got an actual a price adjustment, a price target adjustment from 135 to 136 by Wells Fargo. Not too much of a change, but we're obviously seeing, positivity, right? They're maintaining an overweight on Starbucks, and that's Wells Fargo. And, obviously if they have a positive perspective on it, then obviously it's going to do fairly well. That's just being from more of a fundamental side. Looking at the technical side, though, we were at the support level down here at 109. We got a resistance right up here at 119. This 109 level that we had support at down here, we haven't seen that since basically June and May, right? So the level we were at, we're bouncing, right? Every time we were at that level, we ended up bouncing. We came up to 127. So that's what we're paying attention to right now. The other two things I want you guys to pay attention to is the first thing is we're approaching the 180-day moving average. When we approach that level, we might get rejected because it's a critical level, right? So it acts as a resistance when we break below it. It acts as a support when we stay above it, right? So just right here, we saw it act as a support. And then when we broke below it, it acted as a resistance again. We did break a little bit out, faked out a little bit, but then we came back down, came back up, resistance again. And so we're approaching it once again. So consider that. We're not super overbought on the RSI, but looking at the overall big picture, right? So let's zoom out again, looking at the big picture. If we're looking from current price points to that first level of resistance, we're looking about 5.6%. Our risk to that support level is about 4%. So I would manage my risk fairly tight at about probably 2% risk for this particular play. But I would also pay attention for it to actually break through this 180-day moving average. Not to say we can't push higher, but definitely one to consider as an opportunity. So that's what we're paying attention to with Starbucks. The next one that we're going to be looking at is going to be Chewy, CHWY. So this one again sold off quite a bit after we hit highs of 120 back in February. We've been selling off, came down to the support level at 60.45, where we ended up approaching just now again. So we approached that in May, rallied once again all the way to 97.61, and then came back down to that exact same support level that we saw in May. So currently it looks like we're starting to break to the upside. Obviously we're approaching overbought levels. So let's go ahead and zoom in and take a closer look at this. We're looking at the fact that we got a critical volume profile here at 80.36. We did just break above the 50-day moving average, which is a positive sign. We're holding above the EMA, which is another positive sign. On the negative side, we are approaching the overbought levels, but if we are going to be starting to push up higher, we're definitely going to be overbought. MACD looks still good. We haven't seen no change of color from green to purple, which indicates a potential weakness in momentum, but we're still in the green, so it looks like we're still doing well. The next thing that we're going to be watching is a break through this 100-day moving average, which lines up, as you guys can see, close exactly with this resistance level that we're going to be facing at 68.26. So that's the first thing that we're paying attention to, this resistance level. The next one's going to be the 180-day, 200-day moving average. And then after that, the next one that we're going to be paying attention to is going to be this level right up here, approximately 90 or 86.69. So that's the three levels that we're paying attention to. Currently at support, so your risk is fairly minimal. We're looking, it's still fairly significant, 6%, but your profit potential, we're looking at about 32.52% for Chewy up to that resistance level that we did check in basically August, right? When we approach this level right here. So that's what we're paying attention to with Chewy. That's also another one that you can consider for a little bit of a longer term play, but definitely intraday. Throughout the week, we're definitely going to have some excellent opportunities. The next one is going to be SD. So this one is Sandridge Energy. This one here, the reason this one caught my eye is we've seen a lot of positive uptrend pattern and consistency, right? So we've consistently been rebounding off of, or bouncing off of this 100-day moving average, this green line. As you can see, every time we approach it, come back up, approach it, come back up. And now we're back at it, approaching it. What does the pattern usually tell us, right? We want to look left to see what we have potentially upcoming in the future. So let's go ahead and zoom in. That's the big picture that we're looking at for SD, right? So from current price points to those all-time, or to that level that we were at 14,478, potentially higher, but that's currently what we're looking at. We're looking at about 17.6, 17 point, let's go ahead and go to 17, let's just say 17%, right? Potentially we're going to might see higher highs after that, as we've continuously seen. So that's what we're paying attention to. Is we're obviously paying attention to this opportunity of about 17%. Our risk is obviously fairly decent as well. So it's going to be just below this 180-day moving average. So we're looking about 8%. But currently, from current price points, if you look at that 17% profit potential and manage your risk at about, a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 ratio, definitely don't forget to manage your risk, even on a great opportunities or great setups such as this. But still, manage your risk. Right. So that's what we're paying attention to with SD. RSI, plenty of room to run. So definitely have enough room on the RSI to run for at least a rebound to that 1478 level, if not higher. And then the MACD as well. We clearly see a nice change of color and a curve right here happening to the upside, right? So we're definitely interested in this play and this reversal to the upside. So that's what we're paying attention to with SD. The next one that's on our watch list is going to be CVNA. So that's Carvana. Right. If you guys don't know what Carvana is, make sure to take a deep dive into what it is. This company has been doing very, very well. And so big picture, we've seen this trade horizontally for some time. We ended up breaking up to this 376 level as a resistance level. And then we ended up seeing a sell-off a little bit below what we wanted to see as far as that resistance level, but it did line up exactly with this critical volume profile level. And now we're starting to see a curve to the upside. Plenty of room to run on the RSI. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Plenty of room to run on the RSI. MACD still looking green. And it looks like we're steadily just starting to push to the upside and start with this recovery. The first level is obviously going to be this $300 level. After that, we're paying attention to the 180-day level, 326. After that, those all-time highs that we saw at 376, right? To 300 and then 326 and then 376. Plenty of room, like I said, on the RSI. MACD still looking fairly good, especially if we continue this recovery. The first thing we want to see is we want to see a breakthrough this 50-day moving average, holding above the EMA, and that's what we're interested in. So currently, if we're paying attention to a full recovery to those all-time highs from current price points, we're looking at about 23%. Our risk is going to be just below the support at about 3.84%. So that's how I would manage my risk with this particular play. And this, once again, this could take some time, but definitely intraday, we're going to have quite a bit of opportunities throughout this week for this to recover. We aren't super overbought. We're not super oversold, but definitely got, like I said, plenty of room to run. If we do break the 50, I'd be looking at this resistance level and this 100-day moving average, which is about 6.2%. And that could be something that happens within the next day or two. So pay attention to Carvana. If you haven't added this to your watch list, add this to your watch list. And the last one that we're going to be paying attention to is going to be Shopify, SHOP. So Shopify, once again, a great company that has been doing very well throughout, all of 2021. This has been pushing highs. We've seen highs of 1660, and currently we broke below. So after we saw those highs, we ended up pushing down below that 100-day moving average. When we break below the 100-day moving average, it becomes a resistance if it doesn't hold a support. So we broke below it. It became a resistance. We tried to push up again, got rejected, came down to the support level. And now we're at this 100-day moving average again. And we are starting to look overbought. The reason this is an interesting play for us is that if it does break through this 180-day moving average, we can expect to see a recovery to those highs, those all-time highs, which is 1438. Once again, if tech starts pushing up this week, we're going to definitely see this push up as well. Tesla is going to push up. This is going to push up. NIO is going to push up. Everything that has to do with tech is going to start pushing up. This is an excellent e-commerce company. We're actually at a critical volume profile level as well. So this could go either way. So pay attention to this. If we do see a break above the 180-day moving average, which lines up fairly well with this resistance of 1489, we're going to definitely see a push to the upside here, giving us that 12-13%. On the contrary, if we do get rejected, expect this to potentially return back to this downside, which is another 10.9, almost 11% back to this resistance that we had, or this support that we saw just on the 4th of this month, right? So that's the two sides of this. The reason we're paying attention to it is, once again, the break through this 180-day moving average and that 12-13% profit potential. So that's the last one we're paying attention to. And a bonus one for you guys to stick, for you that stuck around, we're going to be looking at MELI. This one here, this is a great example of a potential reversal play right here. So let's zoom out to the big picture and go on the daily for you guys to get kind of an idea of what we're looking at. So on the daily, you guys can see that clearly we're starting to reverse here on the MACD, and we're about to push up to the upside. The next thing that we're paying attention to is we have plenty of room to run on the RSI, right? And we just broke above the 100 or the EMA here on the 1-day chart, right? And we're actually about to break the 180-day moving average as well. So looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to see that once again, we're holding above the EMA. We're attempting to break the 50-day moving average, and we're going to be running into the 180-day. In my opinion, from the big picture, we're seeing quite a bit of opportunity here from current price points to at least those previous highs that we were at. Not all-time highs, but previous highs, which is about 18.19%. Our risk, we're going to manage it. Basically, if we're looking at a profit potential of 18%, let's manage it at approximately 9%. And that's a 2-to-1, but you can even manage it at like 2%, 3%, whatever you're comfortable with. I can't determine that for you. Only you can determine that for yourself as far as what you're comfortable with risking for a potential 18%, right? So that's the current play with MELI. That's what we're paying attention to. And as always, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned something, and made sure to grow your watch list. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to smash that like button. If you guys found value in any of this, share this with a friend. All these things help the algorithm. It's going to help your friends, and you're going to be aware if you subscribe and like the video. You guys are going to be aware of when these videos drop. They drop every single Monday night, so make sure to tune in. And I'll see you guys on next week's Stock Talk video.